Well, hey there. Today I'm going to be reviewing the BV-500 Food Canister by Bear Vault. So the BV-500 by Bear Vault, and they have their website posted on the lid of their device here, is what's called a bear canister. And in many places, certain parts of the Sierras in California, if you're going to be backpacking, and also outside the Sierras, because this was required on the Lost Coast Trail as well. So several trails within California alone, not to mention other places, you're required to have some kind of a food canister that is certified bear proof in order to backpack in that area. Rangers will actually sometimes ask you if you have your food canister with you, and if you don't, they will escort you off the trail. And so that becomes necessary to have one. I went with this one. It's one of the more popular ones I have noticed. There's a lot of people who have it. There are several different types. There are food bags that are supposed to be bear proof. Yeah, maybe. They may be able to keep bears out, but the bear will completely destroy your food within. With this, so far, except for some very few cases, this has kept a bear out, and the food inside doesn't get completely squished and destroyed. It's got a safety lid on the top, in which it's got a little notch that you have to put pressure on to get past the notch, and then a second one that you have to put pressure on, and then once you've got it past that point, it just simply unscrews, and you put your food inside, and anything else besides food that has any kind of a scent that may attract bears or any other kind of wildlife that may be looking for that kind of a free meal, and then you seal it back up. This particular model, the BV-500, the one that I have, has a capacity of about 11.5 liters. It's 700 cubic inches inside to be able to put things in there. It is made of a polycarbonate. It's very tough. I have seen films of bears actually, pushing on these things, throwing them around, and putting their full weight, big bears, putting their full weight on them, not crushing them, not getting into them. They finally let it go. Now, is it scent proof from food? Absolutely not. That's not what it's for. So this is not one of those things that you put all your food in it, and then you put it at the end of your tent, and then you go to sleep. Animals, mice, bears, raccoons, they still know there's food in there. They'll scent the food and they'll try and get to it because, until they try, they don't know, and they're going to give it a shot. So even when you're carrying any kind of a Bear Vault, whether it's this one or some of the other bear canisters that are out there, you are not supposed to store those in your tent with you. You're supposed to store these somewhere outside of your camp, somewhere safe. That way, if they do decide they want to check it out, they'll just check it out. This particular one has, according to the company, a 7-day food capacity. I have seen people stuff these, depending on how much you eat on the trail and things like that, much more than 7 days is possible. So for some of you who are not very good packers, maybe less than 7 days, but you are supposed to be able to fit 7 days worth of food in there for backpacking. And as far as also backpacking goes, this weighs about 2 pounds, 9 ounces. So I do not consider it prohibitively heavy. I know there's some ultralighters out there right now that are like, oh, 2 pounds. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 2 pounds, 9 ounces. Calm down. It's going to be okay. Yeah, I like to give the folks, because I'm not a person who carries that heavy of a pack, or I try not to. I try and cut the weight where I can, but I am just not crazy fanatical about everything having to be perfectly ultralight. And I know most ultralighters are not fanatical about it either. They get it down as close as they can get it, and that's awesome. But there are some folks out there that I'm telling you, they hear 2 pounds 9 ounces, and automatically this is something that they will never ever carry, even if the trail requires it. They're going to find a way to do something else because 2 pounds 9 ounces is too heavy. They're out there. Anyway, the BV-500. I have field tested. I'm going to use official terms now since I'm gear reviewing. I have field tested it on the Lost Coast Trail on various backpacking trips in different parts of the Sierra Mountains and a few places in the Central Valley that I've gone overnight. But for the most part, mountains and the Lost Coast Trail. And it has served me very well, holds up very well. When this is all the way on, it actually turns into a nice seat that you can sit on as well. So it's versatile. It's amazing. You can do all kinds of things. It retails for somewhere between $60 to $80, depending on what season you buy it in and where you get it from. So it is not super cost prohibitive, but yeah, it's up there and things like that. I will probably, and I'm going to, another ultralighter trigger alert, even though it is not required in the desert section of the Pacific Crest Trail, I am probably going to go ahead and carry it because, again, it is only 2 pounds 9 ounces. I don't consider that bad. And it is for more than just bears. You know, there's no real, only a few areas in the desert section that may have to worry about bears and stuff. But you do have to worry about other critters, and this will also keep other critters out and things like that. Mice are not going to get into this. Raccoons are not going to get into this. Any of the little critters that are going to want to kind of try and get into things, they may chew through bags and other things, but they're not going to get through this. And so for that reason, I'm probably going to carry it. And sorry if this grosses some of you out, but what happens is I'm going to double layer it, and I will have food on one layer, and in a separate, completely separated bag inside of this, we'll have my toiletry stuff. So, you know, my shovel, my wipes, all the kinds of things I use for going to the bathroom. Because all of that comes with the scent too. And any kind of trash you want to carry out on the trail, I will also put it in here too. Now it's going to be bagged separately from my food and then placed in there. So they're not going to be touching each other and all that, oh no, gross stuff. But it does come in handy for that kind of thing as well. It's not just for carrying food. It's for anything that may have a scent that could attract animals. You put it in here, and like I say, it's not going to block the scent, but it's going to keep them from getting to it. And when it's in here and placed somewhere safe just outside of your camp, they're not chewing through your tent or chewing through your backpack pockets to get to it and things like that. So that is the BV-500 by Bear Vault. I have been quite happy with it, very happy with it. I'm giving that 4 out of 5 as a score. I'm really happy with it. The only down draw for me that I've had is, aside from the long trails that I'm just getting ready to do, the Pacific Crest Trail, most of my backpacking trips are 3 to 4 days. This is too big for 3 to 4 days. If I only need 3 or 4 days worth of food, I do not need this big one. But it was on sale. I picked it up because I really wanted it, and I needed one for the Lost Coast Trail, and I was kind of rookie for that trail, so I ended up carrying it anyway. It worked fine. It was good, but I did have plenty of extra room in this thing during the Lost Coast Trail because that was only a 3-night trip. So I didn't need this much space. Now, Bear Vault does sell the BV-450, which is a 4-day supply, and it is smaller than this. And I'm thinking about getting it. That way I have a Bear Vault for longer trips and shorter trips, or a spare Bear Vault in case needed, like on a Boy Scout trip or something like that. If one of the scouts needed a Bear Vault because you're required to have one, certain areas that we backpack, then I have one I can loan out and things like that. So I'm thinking about getting the 450 just for that kind of purpose, for my shorter trips or as a loaner, and then I still have the big one for the longer trips and things like that. But 4 out of 5 for the BV-500. It's come in very handy. I really like it, and that's my take on this particular piece of gear. Hope you enjoyed it.